What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to a Casually Chelsea show, World Cup edition, where we talk about the boys at Chelsea and their international teams at the World Cup and their performances. I am accompanied here by Real Chris, Ahmed, and myself, Marshalldbdx. Before we go ahead and start this amazing match week 2 review, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're very close to 1,500 subscribers, guys. So help us get there. Smash the subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our streams, impromptu streams like this. And then make sure you leave a comment down below. Check out the links in the description. And then super chat, super thanks, whatever you want to do to donate. It helps out the channel. Not necessary, but that option is available for you guys if you want us to read it out loud here on the stream. But ladies and gents, big up Fatur. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up Serbs. Yeah. We're going to touch on that one before we go ahead and start all this. And big up Jose as usual. Smash that like button, of course. Ladies and gents, let's just start off before we get into the whole World Cup spiel. Two quick pieces of Chelsea news. The FA Cup draw happened today, right? It was today. Mm-hmm. And we got Man City again, boys. So
love it.
Either we win or we lose. I'm not invested, really. This season's already like, wrap it up. Let's just start rebuilding, you know.
Let's take a break from Wembley, man. Let's take a break from Wembley.
I'm not looking forward to if we get to the FA Cup final again and losing. Not a fourth time.
What if we beat Man City, though? I mean, look,
I'm
holding my breath.
And then we get to final and then we lose to like a team like, I don't know, Leicester. West Ham, yeah. Declan Rice like scores a penalty 9 minutes.
To Deckers. That'd be horrible. That would suck.
It would happen like that.
It would just be too toxic for that. If that happened, the level of toxicity would be off the charts.
Dude,
off the charts.
The levels of toxicity right now at Stamford Bridge and what is it? West London is Chelsea, right? West London, right?
Southwest,
the levels of toxicity at Southwest London right now. You got to wear a gas mask when you're around there because it's bad right now with the whole Mason Mount thing, which we'll touch on and all that. But so we got Man City in the FA Cup. We'll see what happens. We'll do our predictions for that game when we're closer to that date. But the other thing I wanted to touch on, we did go over this a little bit yesterday's show, but there's been a recent update as in reference to this. So we were talking about the transfer window and Christopher Vivel and all that. So a little bit of an update from Absolute Chelsea right here. Chelsea feel the recruitment team is now set for January transfer window with Todd Boehly comfortable in his current role. The club are in no rush to appoint sporting directors. So we were asking about when the sporting director is going to come in. I had talked about how Michael Edwards is potentially going to be that guy in the summer. Looks like for the January transfer window, we're pretty damn good, and we're in no rush. So maybe we might even go summer without it as well. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we do get Michael Edwards in or another sporting director in, right? But I think today even Fabrizio came out and said that Chelsea haven't announced it yet, but Vivel is now the technical director.
Yep,
and
correct.
So there's been a lot of moves happening. Head of transfers. So, look, you got a month. Start prepping, bro. Start getting those transfers in. I know we got in Cuckoo.
Listen. We don't need to start prepping. Listen.
Start moving.
1st of December, we need to be moving, getting calls ready. How much?
Yeah. Look. So far, it looks like we got Nkuku pretty much done and settled. That'll be in the summer that he comes in, and then Zakarian, we're waiting for what Dinamo is going to say. I think we just haven't talked to them yet.
It's not. No. Apparently, the Dinamo thing.
Not Dinamo. I'm sorry.
Him getting his Armenian nationality. I don't know how long that's going to take. So
we already agreed a deal because I know we agreed on personal terms. I didn't know we agreed a deal.
We already had agreed a deal with Dynamo, whatever it was. The problem was. Issue was that he's Russian and he's not Armenian, and how do we send the money to a country which is blocked for reasons which I'm not talking about right now? It's not a problem. So that was what the issue was.
Okay, fair enough. So those two are just about over the line. Now we'll see what other business we do, how much we spend, how crazy we go in January. Usually January is a pretty slow month for most footballing teams, but we're Chelsea. We got a new owner. He's got a very much a blank canvas to paint on right now when it comes to Chelsea. What were you going to say, Chris?
Well, if you're going to make, signings in January, it's best to basically let the club keep it for that rest of the season and sign the player early so no one can take him if you really want him. So just if you're going to make say if we do something crazy, get Liao in January, just let him have him for the rest of the season. We'll get him in the summer and he can suffer with us in Europa League.
Fair enough.
You need to, so I agree with what Chris is saying. Get what you need to get done for the summer within March and February. But what we need now, December, should be getting that all completely sorted out ASAP.
Yeah, I agree, because I know we all talked about this on the channel in a previous stream. We need to treat this January transfer window like a summer one, just because there's a big risk that we're not going to get Champions League football next season. And that appeal really pushes away valuable targets.
Let's give them the false illusion we're going to be Champions League.
Yeah. At least that, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully have a good. Maybe we win the Champions League. Who knows? Dare to dream.
I don't know, Marshall. I don't know. But all right, guys, that's the Chelsea club related news for today. Let's talk about this World Cup. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been watching the earliest World Cup that I can remember actually watching was the 2006 World Cup, and ever since then, I think 2010 was probably my favorite one, just because that final, Spain, Holland, Spain, and Netherlands was phenomenal. It was a great final. But I gotta say, this World Cup so far is probably my favorite, just because other than France and Brazil, all of the favorites have been a little bit. It's been iffy. Everyone's been kind of level playing field. Big surprises, big upsets. It's just crazy. And some of these teams are getting away with murder. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of these teams are getting away with draws or wins. Very, very lucky wins. But I mean,
Portugal,
I don't talk. We'll get to Portugal, but I don't have this as a tab, but I did want to talk about. Did you guys see that Ecuador Netherlands game?
Yo,
no.
What have I been saying? I've been saying, guys, don't sleep on Ecuador. Don't sleep. Yeah, I know you skipped the rest of the day.
I can't lie. I put them last. I put Qatar, but they were my third place. But
yeah. I was saying Ecuador, don't underestimate Ecuador. They have some ballers. And you know what? I was watching the shout out to Flawless TV. I was watching the stream last night, and you have Pete saying they had the dog in them. XD expected dog. Yeah. Ecuador got the dog, man. Look, Ecuador, for a while, for at least half of that qualification at CONMEBOL, they were in first place. They were convincingly beating teams and putting Brazil and Argentina to the sword. They're a good team this year. They might not have the same quality as a Netherlands or I don't know, maybe even Senegal, but they're still a really good team, and they're really competitive, and they could have won that game. They easily could have won that game. Yo. They bullied De Jong. They said, white boy, you in the wrong hood, and they bullied De Jong. 3 on him at a time sometimes, man. It was ridiculous.
I really do not get listen, I love Van Gaal. I thought he's the top manager. I like his style of play, so on and so forth. But I am really clutching at straws at some of the stuff that he's been doing in the midfield. I don't understand why you're playing, for example, Klaassen in the 10. Klaassen is basically been crap this season. If you're going to play someone in the 10, it should actually be in Berghaus, who he decided to play in a pivot in the game before. Which is come on, man, can't be doing that.
Wait, he played Berghaus in a pivot? I didn't even deep that.
Yes, he did that against Senegal.
His pivot, his pivot against Senegal was De Jong and Berghaus.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, I was so confused. And then
What's
he had
doing, man?
Yeah, and he had Gakpo in the Senegal game as his 10 in that game.
I mean, that makes sense. He does play 10 a lot for Senegal, and he is actually quite good as the 10.
That's fine, but for me, I would have played at least if you wanted some sort of stability, you would have played Darun, and then you would play De Jong, and then had Berghuis as your 10. That would have been a much better midfield there. But I think real talk, yeah, Van Disney needs to be spoken about, man. That guy, I think
Disney.
I think no. I'm actually being serious when I say I feel like he's regressed. He's regressed from his injury now. It's like official now. Like people been saying it's the World Cup thing, but nah, he's regressed, man.
Didn't he already replace the previous manager? I think the previous manager was Ronnie Coleman, right?
Or yeah, he's coming back after Van Gaal, by the way. He's coming back again after Van Gaal.
Why? He didn't work first time.
This is what the Dutch do. This is what the Dutch do. They literally, honestly, I don't know what it is. It's the same in countries as well, by the way. Like, if you go and look at, like, managers in certain countries, it's literally the same managers. Like, go on, if anyone, like, I know this is a little bit of a tangent. If anyone wants just to laugh a little bit, go and look at the managers in Turkey from, like, the last couple of years. Fam, it's the same managers, bro. It's the same managers in different fucking jobs in the same league. It's like it's the same managers, fam.
Is it return of the Mac, bro? Every single time.
Fam, we get a remake after remake after remake, bro.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Well, I mean, yeah. What'd you think of that game, Scott? I really think Ecuador should have gotten a win. Netherlands got really lucky because of that offside goal, the goal that hit the crossbar. I mean, at the end of the day, the game is decided by who scores the goals, right? But man, like
Netherlands didn't have many shots.
I didn't watch it. All I heard was Netherlands were poor again, and they've been kind of meh both games so far. Like,
which is why I said they would come in second in our group predictions, because I didn't think Netherlands would do it.
They literally got Qatar next and the top of the
league. They'll finish first, but
they're not gonna lose to Qatar or
This is the stats of the game before you go, Scott. Netherlands had 2 shots, 1 of them on target.
Yeah.
Ecuador had 15 shots, 4 on target.
Yeah, but Netherlands had more possession, you know.
Who Netherlands gonna face?
By 5%.
Who Netherlands gonna face, by the way?
Netherlands are gonna face Qatar.
No, if they finish
in the next
group,
they'll face whoever finishes second in our group.
Yeah, man, they're gonna lose probably 2 of them in second in our group. I'll be real, man.
Probably. I could see it. But yeah, it's Ecuador. Ecuador played really well. That Senegal-Ecuador game is going to be intense because that one is going to decide who goes to the next round. So they're going to go all out. I know Valencia's playing with an injury, so who knows what's going to happen if he's going to play through with the game through that injury. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And who knows? I mean, Qatar's already out the cup, but I mean, I doubt they're going to put any damage on Netherlands. Netherlands might not even put out their best players.
Do you know what the worst is? I'm looking at this now, and I'm just thinking, right? Who's going to finish up the runner-up? Like, one of the quarterfinals is probably going to end up being Holland-Argentina, and it's going to be such a dead game.
Well, for Holland, probably. I can see Argentina just running circles about them.
Argentina, man.
That's if Argentina get there, which I think based on the games they're playing, like they've got to play Poland next. I'm sorry, this Poland team is arse. This Poland team is garbage. Like Lewandowski, Zielinski, and that might be it. And maybe Cash. They're garbage. They're hot shit. They're terrible. Then they've got, then if they win that, I think they might top the group. Then they face the runner-up in Group D, which I think is going to be. It's going to be Denmark or Australia, and again, Denmark have not been good, and Australia, fair play, have been like all right, but
yeah,
I think
Denmark have been underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, Denmark has been a little upsetting.
We could have a quarterfinal of Argentina, Holland, where it's just dead, and that's terrible. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about Szczesny. Actually, he's been good for Poland as well.
Yeah, Szczesny's okay. Yeah, Szczesny's okay.
Szczesny's been this player. That says a lot.
Yeah.
You know what it is with Denmark, the attacking wise, they've been mute, man.
There's nothing there. There's just nothing there. I would say Spain's been more effective in attack than them.
Bro, Spain in attack, bro. I can't believe some of the stuff.
Morata's firing more than fucking.
That Spain attack should not be as effective as it's been.
Hey, but Luis, Twitch, Enrique, you know what I'm saying? W's in the chat. Oh my days. Let's talk real quickly about Chris.
Mhm.
It's your turn to tell me how you feel about Iran putting 2 past you in the last minute of the game.
Yo, talk about
It's
your
one of
boy.
those. It's one of those things, you know. We've never seen so many minutes added on. Now we conceded like night. Okay, you gotta do that to me.
Wayne Hennessy.
I'm
man, talk
sorry,
to me
I
about
meant to
him.
do this to you. I meant to.
Yeah,
I was
Wayne Hennessy pretty much
he must
came out
have
there to
sipped his
take out
fucking
someone.
namesake before the game, bro.
Yeah,
Say that again.
I said Hennessy was sipping his namesake before the game, bro. Well,
Hennessy
Hey.
ran out there just to take out an Iran guy, like, and
He had a few punch. He had a
I
few
don't,
touches.
okay, I don't know why the referee gave Hennessy a yellow card to begin with, because he was the last man and he just completely taken, he gave him a yellow card, Marshall, until VAR stepped in and
that's actually,
gave him a red.
on a side note, that is something I do want to talk about at some point, the refereeing in general.
Yeah,
at this
like the
tournament.
referee in the World Cup has been quite
yeah.
bad in general.
It's been very questionable.
If there was no
probably
VAR,
talk about
this
it
is
at
what
the
I
end.
will say. What VAR is doing pretty well is like actually like
No,
saving the
off-
shambolic.
No, the VAR is just
No, no.
bad. We went from, I know again this is a tangent
No,
we're
for
talking
just for the
about,
and for the World Cup
the-
though, it hasn't been too bad. I don't think.
No, I think it has. Like I think it has in terms of we went from last World Cup was the one it was introduced, wasn't it? And it was one it smashed it. Like that was a massive positive for VAR. Everything was brilliant. Like most of the decisions that were made were correct. The refereeing in general was really good. And we come to this and it's the complete opposite. Like there's some games where the refereeing is really good. A lot of games where it's been terrible. A lot of the VAR decisions, like the one today in the Uruguay game, I know it didn't make a difference in the end, or it wouldn't make a difference. That's unbelievable.
We
That's
for sure
actually
will. We
the
for sure
penalty-
will talk about it towards the end, just because
That's
like
a good move.
we do have a few games to go over, but I do want to talk about the refereeing because there's a lot to talk about with
The
that.
Portugal pen quickly.
I
was
will
crazy.
say though,
Yeah, that was crazy.
it was kind of a dead game. I thought like when we like sent us a back five and then
Iran were dominating you guys.
No,
based on the highlights.
I don't think they was like dominant until we went to a back four, and then they started getting a lot of good chances in. After it did, like they hit the woodwork I think 3 times. I thought I don't know how, and then Hennessy made that great save afterwards, as I remember. But yeah, like Iran, I will say that they deserved a win. Like even though they came at the 98 minutes and 101 minutes, I hated that feeling, like conceding 2 goals like that. But they did deserve it.
The one was enough. The second one,
it's just they went for the counter, like, and we was like,
for
no
real.
man at the back. And the first goal was a mistake from Joe Allen, man. He kicked it straight at the player, and it was a good goal, but he just hit it straight at the Iran player, and he just smashed it in. And I think if Wayne Hennessy was still in goal, I think he saves that, because I've seen him save some good long shot saves, like from bottom. It was to his bottom left of the keeper. I think
you could say
Hennessy's
that.
taller, and I think.
Even with 10 men down and you still have a keeper, because obviously you made a sub for a keeper after that, I still think you guys should have been able to maintain a clean sheet. I think to a certain extent, like if we had to be real, I think Iran did get a little lucky with that shot, right? Maybe they caught the
Joe
keeper.
Allen
Keeper wasn't properly warmed
why.
up. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate for Wales.
We only had one good chance.
You were really confident. You were really confident going into that game.
I was confident we could win. Yes, I thought yes, like because we ain't had a World Cup since like 64 years. So I think we're gonna give it everything. Like against USA, yes, we had a shitty first half, and then we started to show up in the second half. But then against Iran, we had one good chance, and it is to Bale. Bale had like a volley, like a awkward volley, but it went straight at the keeper. That's all we had that whole game, and I don't think we did anything else but that. But then I think Rob Page started to change up. He had to put on Johnson and Dan James, because us sticking at that back five was doing nothing in attack, and we needed some pace on the wings for Bale, because it just wasn't doing anything. We played shit, but all I'm gonna say is we beat England 4-0. We're through.
Hey, good luck with that.
Hey, you never know.
It might happen, man. It might happen. This
No, it won't. Like, we are bad. England are bad. We're not that bad.
It's very it's like a 1% chance Wales are gonna go through. There's 2 scenarios how we're gonna go
we
through.
Could lose. Hey, that's the thing. We could lose. The most losing is like 1-2-0.
Yeah,
like, we're not,
I think the more realistic one is if USA draw once again, a third time, and if Wales win, we go through. Because we beat England and we'd have 4 points. And I think we have a better goal, unless Iran smash US.
Yeah, you would.
No. If you draw, it doesn't matter. Yeah. We have a better goal difference.
Yeah, you would have to win though. So that's
it's a big ask.
We'll see. Let's get to the first week, though. Let's get to the first game that features some of our Chelsea boys right here. The Qatar versus Senegal game. I think the result was expected. No. I don't. Mendy didn't make a mistake. I think Mendy was actually really good this game.
Yeah, I'm a bit sleepy.
Yeah, Mendy was actually really good this game.
Of the two keepers in the match, he was not the one to keep your eye on. I'll tell you that much. Jesus Christ!
Well, actually, the Qatari keeper wasn't even the keeper that started the tournament. Did you notice that? It was a different keeper.
We were on. What stream was I on? It was. I think it was Flawless's stream. Like, I think Peter was on there. Andrew, a few others. We were watching it. My word in Christ, that was like they genuinely. We were joking. They genuinely must have taken some guy off the street. Like, genuinely picked someone out of the house. Oh, he's done something. He's done something in the locker room before the game. Like, he was on one. Like, he literally was coming out. He wanted to replicate. He wanted to replicate what Hennessy was doing. It was nuts.
I mean,
wait.
So Senegal. He
tried
to replicate what Hennessy.
There was a couple of times that he got close.
Qatar is obviously they obviously don't belong in this tournament. I think we already said this in here. But it is what it is. They're the host country, so they get to be in the tournament. But I think this game was a good game for Mendy. He needed a little bit of a confidence booster after basically losing Senegal that game against Netherlands, and he had a great save in this game. Was gonna keep a clean sheet up until Koulibaly. Koulibaly basically fucked it up for them. He got beaten. He got beaten like out of nowhere. He just didn't go aggressively for the ball. The Qatari guy just came in and just headed it in, and that Koulibaly could have easily gotten that ball if he didn't take his time or was.
Let's be real, guys. He got done, man.
Yeah, he got done. He got done. It sucks because now I'm starting to question is Koulibaly really as good as we all thought he was? Is this really because this guy was so hyped up and I was all about it. So many teams wanted him, and there was so many things that were being said about him, praising him. But I'm seeing his performances, and I'm not really convinced anymore. I don't know if this guy's really as good as he's been said to be.
I think so. Maybe this. I feel like he may have rushed back from injury.
Hold on. I gotta mute Alex because he's this whole thing is falling apart here. What were you saying, Ahmed?
I was just gonna say maybe he might have rushed himself back, and when you rush yourself back, you're not 100%. You're not gonna move 100%. Now, a lot of the stuff that's happening with him are basically physical stuff, innit? If you look at it that, he could have gotten to that if he was 100% healthy. Is he 100% healthy?
I mean, we don't know, right? But
I just don't think he's good enough, personally.
I have my doubts now after recent performances, because even before the injury, Ahmed, I feel like he was, he had some
he's been horrible
dodgy games.
He's been horrible.
Oh, you mean
and it's odd and it's weird because part of me does want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want
to at least give him to the end of the season, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, part of me is thinking it's he's what, 31, 2?
Yeah.
31.
How do players on the older side of their career tend to adapt later in leagues if they don't adapt straight away? I don't know.
Thiago Silva didn't have struggle at all when he came in.
No, there's other players that have come in, like Casemiro's come in, adapted straight away.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at least with Koulibaly, you could say that internationally, regardless of how he did in the league, internationally he's always been decent. But now, even internationally, even in the last game, I didn't think he was amazing. But yeah, in this game, he's at fault for the goal. Literally, I called it out as well. I hadn't even seen the goal go in. and I called it how it went. Oh, for fuck's sake, Koulibaly. And like we hadn't even seen the goal go in, or I hadn't even seen the goal go in, and then the goal went in. It was Koulibaly's fault.
Yeah, I had to like do a double take. I was like, is that fucking Koulibaly? Like, did he not go for the header? And it was Koulibaly.
Yeah, but I just don't know with him because like I just don't know. Like I don't know where to stand with him like at this point because it's like when he plays like this and he's played like he has so far this season, you can kind of understand as to why no one has ever taken that punt on him. No one has.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other factors as well. That being that Napoli are run by a maniac who is impossible to negotiate with. But
yeah,
there is also the kind of you can maybe see that that's why other clubs didn't take a punt on him. Why he has stayed in the Serie A for as long as he has done. But it's not been good enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
heard Gio talking shit, but I don't agree. I don't agree with it.
About Koulibaly?
Yeah, guy needs adjustment.
Do you think he's shit, or do you think he's as good as?
I don't think he's shit. I think he's still fine. It's just why you play him back three. I'm gonna ask manager questions, not him.
Well,
Played in the back four twice this World Cup, and he hasn't looked convincing. It's like, at what point are we going to say?
What point? I'm not going to react to him playing against for what's the name for Senegal, the partnership versus Chelsea.
Cool.
Chelsea is another issue. Senegal is another issue.
Yeah, but Alex, even with the partnership, do you see the goal that he conceded against Qatar?
I didn't. I don't know. Everybody can do them. Individual mistakes to concede the goal, but
yeah, that is fair. Yeah, obviously,
to say the guy is not worth it and blah blah blah, nobody going for him. You're talking too much shit.
Well, I personally am not saying he's not worth it. I'm just I have doubts now. You know,
I mean, there is of course there is going to be criticism. He's at the age.
Yeah.
He's at the age where he's supposed to be really good, but
cool. Well, the biggest thing for me with the doubts is he's the dude that come next year, most likely, he's the dude meant to be replacing Silva. And is he that dude right now? No. And we can say as well, oh, let's adapt. Silva did not take or barely took any time to adapt. And the thing about Silva is it's not even just about the adaptation. We're talking about individual mistakes that he keeps making. I saw something come out today. Since in his entire Brazilian career, Thiago Silva has never made a mistake leading to a goal. Never made a mistake leading to a goal.
This comment is complete stupid.
No, for Brazil,
career,
no, this comment just
when I
many
say
people want
Koulibaly isn't good enough, or I'm questioning how good he is, it's because we need him to replace Silva. And he's like, even when he has this season stepped into that position, what did Potter do? He put Chalobah in that position. After one game, he decided to put Chalobah as the middle centre-back when he rested Silva and put Koulibaly at the left because he trusts Chalobah more in the central centre-back to replace Silva.
That's not what I just disagree with you. That's not what I'm disagreeing with you. What you said about him and the other Italian league, that all of the teams that go for him, that's not the reason why he didn't left. He wanted to leave. It's the fact that the owner of the other team is serious person to negotiate. He didn't leave because he didn't want it or the other teams didn't want him. He didn't leave because he was outpriced. That's why he didn't leave. But to talk about his quality, I agree with you. He made individual mistakes at Chelsea. Apparently, he made it for Senegal. But is that to put the career end to him? I don't think so. At the same time, I am not gonna put him on the same level as Thiago Silva because I know what Thiago Silva done before, after. French league is different. I know he played in Italy. He played it in French league. Thiago Silva is Thiago Silva. It's on you for comparing him versus Thiago Silva. It's your problem that you're doing it.
It's because that's what we need. If you're not comparing him to Thiago Silva, that's
no.
I'm comparing to him because that's what we need. Because we need a Silva replacement. And the Silva replacement, in my mind, I was going to say there has to be a stand. Obviously, there's going to be a little drop-off. But from Silva to Koulibaly right now is not a little drop off; it's a huge drop off. I'd rather at this point go and get Gvardiol and have him as the Silva replacement because I'm seeing more, and I'm seeing more leadership, and I'm seeing more like a calmness on the ball, and I'm seeing a lot more from a 20-year-old, who is like only playing in like he. How do I want to phrase this? Like in terms of for Croatia, I don't know when he started playing centre back for them because originally he was playing left back when they played Vida. But he's been arguably their best player this tournament. For his club as well, he's trusted across the whole back line, trusted like multiple times. Like he to play central centre back to be the same guy Silva is. I trust him right now, and he's 20 years old and has had considerably less game time and experience than Koulibaly.
You would try. This is so funny.
Yes, I would. I would trust him more.
Like
to replace Silva, yes.
No, that's not what I'm saying. To trust anybody that never played in a Premier League game, especially at Chelsea, and you can trust him to start game in, game out. Yeah, it's you. Nothing. It's Scott. It's just stupid. I mean, you can rate the kid. I agree with you. Okay. The kid is good, but to tell him that you trust him to be behind Silva, start game in, game out at Chelsea, nah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I don't.
I'm glad to see where your standards are. I'm glad to see where your standards are. Okay.
I don't even know if it's standards really. It's just that
standards.
I see where you both are coming from because in one end, like I do want to give him, and Scott, you did say this too. You do want to give Koulibaly the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, Scott's saying like we need someone that's going to have to replace Silva. We can't go doing what we did prior to Christensen stepping up and Rudiger stepping up before Lampard got, Thiago Silva in the team, where we had to expose Kepa constantly. He was like our worst keeper because we didn't have good defenders. Like I don't want to go back to that either. So we need to maintain this.
Can I ask the question? The guy that asked me a question, Oliver TO3. We have no alternative. Alex, Rudiger, and Christensen would be those guys, but Marina talks. Please, Marina. Oliver Twist, can you answer me when Marina offered Christensen and Rudiger a contract extension a year before? Why they didn't sign the contract extension?
That is true. They were offered contracts prior to that.
Please answer me. Why they haven't answered? They didn't resign. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you why. Because back then, nobody cared who Rudiger was.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one, to be honest, because at the same time, like, we do have this issue in the club where players will run down their contracts just to have the opportunity to get new offers, enticing offers as well. So, I don't know. That's a tricky one. His answer to you is no sign-on fees. So yeah. Oh shit! It's fucking. I mean, speaking on Mason Mount, glad you brought that up, Chris. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the USA versus England game. Hey, listen. Let's have it right.
I was somewhere.
Man of the match.
I will just. I was gonna say he was not man of the match. He was. I'm not gonna say.
In my opinion, he wasn't, but he was picked as man of the match. I'm gonna be a little shameless. I'm gonna be a little shameless.
Adams or Musa was man of the match.
Adams is really good.
Unfucking real. Jesus.
Yeah. And look, we're looking at Declan Rice and Bellingham, but we're not. To be fair, I would never have thought to look at Adams, but after seeing that performance, I rate him now. He's got the minerals. Some would say.
Is, like Adams wouldn't work in our team. Is the thing.
Maybe
like,
not. Yeah.
Because the way he works for Leeds and he works for the US a lot of the time, because he's like a lot of what he does best is the off the ball stuff. Like on the ball is where it lets him down. Which is why when the US because I've seen or like I watch quite a lot of like podcasts on like the MLS or the US men's national. Canadians men's national team, and when they talk about the US men's national team, they say that like Adams, when they have to play like a possession style game, having Adams in the lone pivot doesn't work really because he's not really comfortable being the guy like in that DM to do it. Like it works better when he plays in a double pivot either with McKennie or Musa, because they can be the guys who do a bit more of the on the ball stuff. So I think that's why he works for like Leeds, or he works for the US when they're in games like this, when they're kind of against the ball more often than not. But he is a great player, and like, I mean, like I've been banging the drum. I said he should have been when we did that the North versus South All-Star team. I put him in the. I advocated for him to go in that team.
Yeah, you did put in a shout for him.
But he's been quality this season, and the fact that like Leeds fans like aren't missing Phillips because they got him tells you a lot.
Yeah, that's actually, he had big shoes to fill as well for Leeds. So yeah, that does say a lot. Listen, for this game,
well, Phillips wasn't playing a lot of games for Leeds anyway. He was injury prone over there, so we always had a player that informed. It wasn't a big transition.
I mean, he did play most of the time.
He played as much as he was fit.
I mean, the season that he wasn't heavily injured, he was basically playing the majority of the time.
I was going to say he played most of the games.
Yeah,
but still,
that was the first season that Leeds played in the Prem, right?
Yeah,
that was the season you're talking about.
I mean, that's a good quality that you can have. That the second player can come into and replace the first one. It's a good quality to have. We don't have the privilege.
Yeah, we don't. Not at Chelsea. But with the U.S., like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I came into this game not expecting much. I know we were going to put up a fight. And I didn't even expect to win the midfield battle, to be honest with you. I thought the likes of Mason, Bellingham, and Declan Rice would be enough to get you guys to just dominate that game. But it ended up being the complete opposite. And
what was
Weston
the
McKennie,
percentage
Adams,
possession?
and
What was the possession on that game?
60-40, roughly.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right
60-40.
now. Possession was 56 England and 44 United States.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what kind of dominance we're talking about? The game was 50-50. Both shit at any kind of level. Finishing, midfield, and defense.
I mean,
but what I was saying is I was expecting the United Kingdom to be dominant. Yeah,
that's the key point. The people thought that the England level was better.
Yeah, we were talking like England's here and the US is there. Yeah. For them to be equal level,
exactly. That's why
for the United States it's a good game.
I'll give you an example. That Sterling goal against Iran, when Kane moving out wide and creating, that should be the template, the type of attack that England have to focus on against USA. If you look at it, like the USA centre backs, they don't like being dragged out of position into wider zones.
Yeah.
And Mount should be capable of making that third man run down. That's
a good point for
this. This is why they need a centre forward up front, because you can see Kane dropping back and roaming around, making him as an easy target to mark out the game.
That's a
when
real
we
good
play
point.
more technical teams like USA, and we can't keep relying on his goals when we are needed the most. That's the
I also think that I agree with you, and I also think that highlights why even then as a number 10, because I completely agree with you. When you're coming up against a team like that, who are going to either sit deep and you have to break them down, or they're going to get into, especially the midfield, you need someone in that midfield. There's two players you need, like there's two kind of qualities you need from that midfield, from just one of the midfielders at least. You need someone that's press resistant, and either someone who is press resistant can turn on the, like in the half spaces, on the half turn, take it quickly and whatnot. Or you need someone who is going to be able to unlock the defenses with passes. Our best passer in terms of the midfield, for me, I don't give a shit what the stats say, was on the bench and didn't come on in Phillips. And the best guy, or the two best guys, or actually Maddison as well as a number 10, but apparently he wasn't fully fit, so I understand him not coming on. But the other two guys you could have brought on, one did come on, one didn't, in that number 10 role to help you with, like you mentioned, Fata, in terms of pulling those centre-backs apart, getting Adams out of position, was Grealish and Foden. And Grealish came on and played on the left wing and was ineffective, but again, I don't blame him because I don't know what time he came on, but wasn't on. And then Foden, And then this manager wants to make the comments that he made after the match and just...
I think Fatur was right, but I think you could have done with the players that you had on a pitch, could have done that. Instead of dropping deep and try to receive the ball in the deep areas in the middle, you should try to do it on a wide. Like don't make two players so like, for example, if what's his name? Why Kane does not go wide and try to get hold the possession of the ball, and Sterling beside him? Why he has to automatically go deep? And because the players in the midfield didn't do their job. That's the reason.
Yeah.
If Mount would have kept his feet on the ground and could sustain a little bit of pressure, because United States did not have an answer. As much as they played well, they didn't do much. What they did
we have no finishing.
No, not in the finishing. I think what they did well is just get in England face. You see what I'm saying? Like Mount got the ball, he's right in his face. This player got the ball, he got. That's the only answer they had. It's be in there when they received the ball, and it's it. They didn't put the passes better than England. They didn't do anything better. There's a couple of moments when Pulisic had the couple of runs, but otherwise, Fatur is right. The players that up top, they use them they use the space incorrectly. That's what I would say.
And I got to give credit to Robinson and Serginho Dest for putting in the performances that they did too, because they did help shut down the wings against England. And Musa and McKennie being available on those ends to also feed the ball to Pulisic with spearheading, that directness that you're talking about, Alex. It really, tactically, I think Berhalter did a good job of setting up the USA to combat England. And then at one point too, like you were saying, there was one point where England were just sitting back. England were just sitting back doing nothing. Mount was the only one running around like a headless chicken. And also, we'll talk about the refereeing again, but the refereeing in that game as well, Mount should have been on the yellow multiple times. The amount of fouls that kid pulled and didn't get booked for it was absurd.
By the way,
he's still a kid.
By the way, I think that I think both managers are shit. They did not do tactics.
The substitutions.
They did not do tactics to advance. For example, my English, so I'll try to explain better. When the US manager went against,
I think what you
he did not use for the how to beat them. He tried to neutralize England. Does that make sense? Like he did not set up to beat England. He set up to neutralize them. Same thing did English. That's why the English manager, he was literally playing to neutralize US threat. He knew which players would be threat, so he put the players, do not let those players get freedom. And it's it. This is why the games were shit. Again, Fatur, I didn't know you actually can speak about the games, but good luck. Only thing I knew you thought it was minerals.
I'm just saying, like, people kept asking about, why didn't Foden come on? Like, you ask yourself a question, like, what part of that car crashing the performance that do you think Foden wanted any part of? It was too obvious. Like, he showed us all that he's out of his depth when he took off Bellingham off, and then I think he brought on Henderson on.
Henderson.
Henderson starting tomorrow.
If he thinks Henderson the answer, then what's the question then?
Sam, I can't be. I'm actually in 2022. I'm going to see a midfield of Henderson, Rice, and Mount.
Bro, it's not.
Scott,
it's not normal.
again, that's just even more proves
the
my
question
point.
is, Bellingham looks out of his step. The shape needs to changing. We need someone to in that midfield.
Because the guy he's next to, it's because neither of the people he's next to compliment him. And this is the thing. And when people are like, "Oh, this is the midfield I want at Chelsea. This is the midfield we're going to have when we're spending 300 million on."
I don't know if you had Scott, man. Listen, man. There's two clubs ahead of us on Rice now, so.
Hey, good.
Alhamdulillah, man.
The thing is, I'm always going to. I don't think I want either of them. I'd rather go and get like a Enzo Fernandez.
Yes.
I'd rather go and get Neves. I'd rather go and get someone else. Like,
yeah.
Scott, to point exactly what you just said about the Henderson as a substitution in 2022, it just proves my point about how the manager looks at the game. He looks at the game, must not concede. That's the biggest priority.
It's like a bottom table manager.
You see what I'm saying? Do not concede because the group stages.
What would upset me as a UK fan is the fact that you brought on Henderson, and Henderson actually kind of changed the game in your favor. You guys started to control the ball more, possess more, started to create a little more. And then, Berhalter waited till the last minute, did a little bit of his tactics.
Because
and
we
then
ran out of steam, Americans.
Yeah. We were fucking running like dogs. Yeah, they were going crazy 100% the whole entire time, which is what America does. But yeah, like once they brought in some fresh legs, the advantage that you got with Henderson on the pitch went away like that. So it's Maguire was your best player. I can't believe I'm even saying that. And I can't believe most of UK stands are saying that. That's sad.
Pretty good for England, though.
Literally, the only 3 players.
No, I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm just saying like you have so much quality that Maguire's your best one.
I can go one further. It says something with the only 3 players that can walk off the pitch holding their heads held high. The 2 centre backs and the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah. I can't believe how
every other player was shit. Every other player was shit. Like,
oh god,
it's just.
But let me ask you guys something, because again, like we're talking about the Chelsea players and all that stuff. Obviously, we're talking about the game as well. But based on these 2 performances that we've seen so far, me personally, especially based on the England performance, I'm starting to give a little bit more leeway on Pulisic, and I'm starting to look at the club funny now and the managers funny. And I'm starting to think like, okay, I'm not saying let's keep him, but I'm willing to wait until the summer, play out the season, and see how he performs. So I don't know if you guys have been swayed.
What about
or you guys
him?
Still Pulisic out. It depends on him. But
What
I
about
read
him?
an article today that says that apparently he doesn't mind staying. So I don't know. It depends on Pulisic.
Or maybe
you're
because
right.
nobody wants him. That's why he
Maybe.
don't mind staying.
Maybe the rumors about United and Bayern aren't true.
Listen, we have 3 years of
Bayern don't want him.
data. 3 years of data, man, on this brother.
Do we?
Come on. Yes, we do. We have 3 years of data. We know what Pulisic is about. Let's be real, guys. Not 2 games in the World Cup.
He's not the answer either.
Yeah.
No, I know
No,
he's
this
not
is
the
the
answer,
thing, right?
but I'm looking at Havertz and I'm looking at Mount and I'm like, surely he's not as bad as these guys.
And tomorrow's game, yes, he should be starting. Versus Mount versus and I think every Chelsea I think every Chelsea fans would say that Pulisic should start.
Yeah.
The question is why isn't he?
Mount just don't seem to rate him as much. Like even Potter don't play him. It's very.
I don't get it. I don't get it
I
because
think
I think you guys could agree. Mason Mount was horrible.
Oh,
that
shit.
game for you guys.
No, there's no like. I just want him gone at this point. He just needs to fuck off. Like,
bro, let's do
it's more than just the performances. It's more than just the performances. I'm sick of the fucking PR from the journalists and the fans and just everything about this guy. Like, there is more PR given to him than any other player. Like, give this same level of PR to Reece James, for fuck's sake. Like, this guy is one of, if not the best right backs in the world. Like, he is like an incredible player, and he doesn't get talked about in the same way that this pussyhole gets talked about. I fucking want him to leave, just from the simple fact of that you get guys like Johnny fuck off. You get guys like Johnny can just cry that their favourite player is not here anymore and they can actually support the club. You've got this fucking club running PR on this guy constantly, 24/7. It fucks me off. Like, it genuinely fucks me off that every day to this point is PR from the club, from journalists, from fans for this guy, because we're not allowed to criticize him anymore. We're not allowed to say he had a shit performance. And that's the thing. They're like, oh, why are we abusing our own player? Most of what people are saying are just saying that he's not good enough. They're just saying that he hasn't been good. We're not cussing his mum out. We're not cussing his family out. We're not cussing his appearance out. We're not cussing him out, like, in terms of the way he is as a person or the way he looks. Like, we're just cussing his footballing ability.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you guys something, because I was starting to think about this. Because Scott, you brought up a really good point. We have one of the best right backs in the world. And he's not nearly talked about nearly enough. Do you think the publicity that Mount gets is telling of Mount's personality? Because in order for you to do all the commercials, the Just for Men commercials, or whatever commercials he fucking does in the UK, I don't fucking remember, the Pepsi Zero sponsorships and all this publicity and putting your face on everywhere and billboards and stuff. Do you think he kind of goes out of his way? He's like, oh, let me do this and let me do this and let me do this interview with Soccer Direct or Pro Direct and all this shit. Like, meanwhile, Reece doesn't do that shit.
I just posted some news about the Chelsea youngster on the Casually FC chat, so if you can share it.
Huh?
Just came in, like, news just
on Discord.
I guess it's 7 hours ago by.
Yeah.
7 hours ago.
With the like marketing or the PR
For
thing,
the
or
Russian kid, apparently.
there are.
Oh, send
There
it to me, Chris or whoever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say quickly before you go, Scott. Yeah, I've been thinking. Yeah, part of the reason why the contract's not being part of the reason why the contract is not being signed is that I know that with clubs like to have a percentage of image rights with you, where they can get some money off your image. I wouldn't be surprised if part of the contract sort of issues is to do with the image rights within itself, because he's making like a lot of money from whether it be Sky, Sports Direct. I think he's done like some fashion shoots as well. It's making quite a lot of
He's
money.
involved in a lot of PR stuff.
He's
involved in a lot of image stuff.
I get it to a certain extent, but I also don't get why. Like, there are other people in the club who can do that as well. Like, it doesn't have to just be him.
But are other people willing to volunteer and put themselves forward to do that stuff? Take the initiative.
Yeah, man.
to do
Look
that.
at Chalobah.
Because at one point, it's also.
Chalobah's a fashion star, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he does a lot of,
I don't think it's up for the person, man. If guy is popular, guy is popular. I don't like what's initiative. Like, let's make Rhys James, and he has 15 followers. Let's make Chalobah. Yeah, you're right. Let's make Chalobah. How we can make Chalobah look good, sellable, and everything? Please tell me.
What do you mean? Do you know how many subscribers Chalobah's got, or like Rhys James has got on Instagram? It's fine. Like with Rhys James and Chalobah.
But that's not what we're talking about, is it? Is it about the followers, or is it about what actual people doing, getting them? How you say it?
Or relatability.
No, the photo shoots, all of that. It's not about the followers. It's about who wants them to be on those magazines.
What wouldn't you want Rhys James on there?
I was going to say,
you want Rhys James.
No,
I want Rhys James, but that's not means what majority
do you
people
think,
want.
Do you think a factor of it is the fact that like Mason Mount pretty much for England has been a starter, whereas Rhys for a while was questionable because of Wan-Bissaka and Trent, and then Chalobah still can't even get into the team.
He's never been. The only question mark he ever has.
For me, he's never been. But I mean,
no,
Southgate,
even for England, he is now when he's fit the number one starter for England at right back. It got to the point where just to fit Trippier in, he had to play at left back because of Southgate wanted to fit Trippier in. Like, if I guarantee you, if Rhys was fit for this World Cup, our back four would be the England back four would be Rhys at right back and Trippier at left back.
Yeah.
Like, he's the starter now, and like, you can make someone. I've said this before, so you can turn someone marketable. You can make someone marketable if you put enough effort behind them. And the thing is, as well, what annoys me more is with like the Rhys James or the Chalobah one or whatever, is with these guys as well. You can send a positive message if you make these guys the face of your club and you put a lot of effort into making them marketable. That sends a positive message. Because of like the history in terms of their skin color and whatnot and things like that, that sends a massively positive message and gives the club a good look in terms of PR. But no, you want to do it for this fucking nobody because he does TikToks all the fucking time. And someone put a comment, and I completely forgot about it.
Do you know
when
how
I'm
much
talking about the PR, the fucking Matt Law article? I'm sorry, where he puts out the hidden stats, and this man talks about
Scott,
like. How much he ran in a match, and like the fact he marked people. Make him a fucking defender then.
That's the whole freaking point, that the people are popular not because like, you know what I'm saying? Paris Hilton was popular before. You know what I'm saying? Paris Hilton was popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you can do that. It's just because I don't know what they do to become that. It's something that I don't know, man. I just think like you can't press somebody to make him like how you say it, popular.
Yeah, I can see both ways.
You can do that for
it is true.
Okay, please. Like,
there's a literal no, I'm being serious here.
I'm trying right now on YouTube.
Genuinely, with the right professionals, you can make anyone famous. With the right professionals, you can make anyone famous.
Hold on a second. There is a difference between famous.
And what?
There is poor as famous, and there is actual famous.
What did I just say? I just said to you, you can make anyone as famous as you want them to be.
No.
With the right people. Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You just need them to have a few intangibilities, which a lot of these football players have, and then boom, you're in.
No.
After this conversation, we're gonna see Mason Mount popularity stats. Fucking anything.
Look,
if that comes out, I might quit football. I genuinely might quit football. I might quit football. Like,
I understand. It's cringy. It's
you know how it is cringe. It is cringe. It is cringe.
You know how cringe it is that Mount is supposed to be face of Chelsea? Like that's so cringy.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, but that's
yeah.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying you can't fix popularity. That's it.
Fair enough. But Alex, I did see that tweet. I was going to talk about it in the Casually Chelsea show next week. But yeah, it's good news. Let's go ahead and we spent a lot of time on this one, but it is what it is. I mean, Mason Mount does that to us. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend,
the Johnny,
Hakim Ziyech.
Boy.
This man of the match, caused the upset against Belgium.
We're not celebrating that, man. He had
respect.
He had the legend, man. He had,
respect.
Yeah, Habibi.
Yeah,
gotta respect Habibi.
I wish he was played his heart out for Chelsea like that. But
Here's the thing. You know what? I want to talk to you guys about this. I am feeling vexed at Chelsea, and Chris, have a good night, man. I am feeling vexed with Chelsea right now because I'm seeing how this motherfucker plays for Morocco, how he played for Ajax, and I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm like, why the fuck did we put this guy in a team with fucking Mason Mount, Timo Werner, a Kai Havertz who can't perform? Why didn't we ever put him in lineups with fucking Olivier Giroud? Why did we have to put Tammy in there? Like, the quality of player, like the only good player that he's played with, I mean, okay, I'm maybe being a little hyperbolic, but the only good player that I argue he's played with is Reece. Whenever Reece is fit, when Reece plays, Ziyech plays well. Look at how Ziyech and Hakimi play for Morocco. They look fucking phenomenal. And against Belgium, Ziyech looked great. Ziyech looked phenomenal. They were fouling him all over the place. Munier and Castagna couldn't keep up with the guy. And Castagna plays in the Prem. It's just, oh man. I just feel like Chelsea have blood on their hands for not getting the best out of this player. And as much as I would like to keep him in the club because I know he has potential to be a good player, I know they're not going to play him. So why bother? Let him go. We've lost Ziyech already.
30 years old. Potential. What potential? He's 30.
Yeah, I think
this is his finish line.
Yeah, but like we had 2 years of him and we didn't take advantage of him, and I feel like Chelsea have blood on their hands for that, man.
Listen.
It sucks. It's almost like, okay, look. Ahmed, correct me if I'm wrong, or whoever, correct me if I'm wrong. It almost feels like when we had Oscar and it didn't work out.
No, but Oscar had moments, man. Oscar was actually producing.
He had moments too.
No, let's not do that, man.
You know, when we had blood on our hands, for all the years, Hazard was stuck with the left back behind him.
Yes,
that's the crime of a century.
Okay. Yeah, fair. That is true.
And he had to play. And he had to play with Morata up top. He had to play with William up top.
That's what I have to say, man.
He had to play just seriously. He had to play with faces like Morata, faces like Alonso on the back, William on the other side. Talking about suffering.
Yeah, that's true. Hazard did go through it, but I'm seeing how Ziyech played, and I'm like, God damn it, man. If we actually,
I didn't think he had that
much
of a good game.
Point, man. What's happening at Juve?
I thought
he was good, but I don't think he was like that good.
The thing is, Belgium would try to use their wing backs to feed the Bruyne.
Belgium is shit.
When that happened,
yeah, exactly. Another thing.
Ziyech and Sofian's Buffal roles off the ball really came to the.
Buffal was good too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was, because when Munier pushing up high, Mazraoui cannot continue covering De Bruyne and tell his teammates to help him out, because Amrabat is literally closest to the Eden Hazard. That is why, like, you could see Ziyech's movement was a bit. It was like I'm completely shocked at what happened yesterday. Honestly.
I'm not shocked.
I'm not.
No. anyone that
Canada should have beaten Belgium. Like
Yes.
this shouldn't shock anyone.
Look, I'm
Belgium,
under the table
realistically
working on my
speaking,
computer.
Realistically speaking, Belgium should be on 0 points.
Look, Scott, talking about crime of Ziyech, we had the players that best running into spaces, like Timo Werner, like Lukaku, like and we had the passer that can do passes from the right side into the left, like Ziyech, but we never used it. You see what I'm saying? That's the crime. I understand what you're saying, but that will mean that we were wrong managers at the time. It is true. Like we always had that. That's not only this time. Chelsea has a problem with that thing all the time.
Yeah, true. I mean, one of the greatest examples that I can think of on the top of my head, the amount of times under Lampard that we were in that last season before Lampard got sacked, the amount of times that we were playing very clearly, the tactic was cross, inshallah, right? Cross into the box. Why the fuck were we benching Giroud that whole time? Chelsea just does this all the time to themselves. They just make it harder for these players to actually get the performances that and the stats that they need. I feel like Ziyech is another victim of that. Like, don't get me wrong. Listen, as much as I'm hyping up Ziyech and doing all this, big up in them and all that because of the match, he did have a good match. I don't think he's the greatest player in the world or anything, right? But he definitely had bad games. And he definitely had games where he just looked uninspired, do the same thing over and over again. I get exactly all the arguments that people have said against them. But no one talks about the amount of times, and the same thing goes for Reece James, right? No one talks about the amount of times that this man and this team has been robbed of fucking assists by the likes of Tammy, by the likes of Werner, by the likes of Havertz.
I think Ziyech has a too much one-trick pony in him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
really
there's
seems
too
like
much in
It's
it.
Belgium,
It's literally the left foot, man. It's literally.
But
the left foot,
but
man.
that's one game.
Mm-hmm. He's had ample games like that, even under Chelsea.
No. That's not what. Like that's one trick that you cannot be sustainable to be a starter. That's could be a problem. Another thing, Giroud and Lampard. Every young manager has a problem with the older player. That's why they're on the bench. That's why Giroud was on the bench. Because he preferred younger players, because young players listen to the young manager instructions. That's why I think a PE teacher is going to have to get rid of all the players that old enough, because they're not going to get his instructions.
Yeah, and you know what?
I think that's what's going to happen.
You bring up Giroud too, and I'm thinking like, fuck, man. I would love to have Giroud right now. I would love to have Giroud right now.
Man, that guy. He's a real one, man. He's a real one, man.
I understand why we let him
2
go,
million, guys. Guys, we got rid of him for 2 million.
I understand why we let him go. Like, and I am glad that he is winning things in Italy. But yeah, part of me does wish we kept in, just because.
And
like,
even right now,
because I don't think he was actually anybody that came after him was actually improvement. I don't think Lukaku is better than him. I really don't.
Especially after the season he had. No. Hindsight's 2020, but yeah.
No, I actually don't think Lukaku is better forward than Giroud. He was never in his career. Maybe a lower league were the one way to play it, but even though I think Giroud would have done that good in those teams too, because I think Giroud is more team player up front than his individual. Lukaku is definitely a selfish player and not as technical. Actually, Giroud technicality on the ball is way undermined. The things that he can do in the box and the tight spaces, even before when he was at Arsenal, he wasn't consistent, but he can do stuff. I don't think Lukaku will break his ankles trying to do those.
Probably fall over.
Probably.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's hilarious about Lukaku too? He came on, didn't touch the ball once.
Nope.
Came on what? 75th minute, 80th minute? I'll look it up.
Yeah, it was like 80th.
He didn't touch the ball.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Did
you hear that? Did you hear the inter director said that was like a robbery that we paid for his loan, but we haven't used them.
He also blamed the manager as well. He said, I didn't want to sign him. I only signed him because Inzaghi wanted him.
Fucking absurd, man. Fucking absurd.
Listen, man,
it's symbolic, man.
The
He's
guy
coming
is
back
the man without the country.
Listen,
But
man,
even
Juve's taking second-rate players now. The club is finished. So, if you want someone...
Let's see. But listen, like with the whole Ziyech thing, like even now, man, the fact that he's not playing... Guys, if Ziyech leaves the club, we have Sterling as a right winger. That's it.
I was going to say, we have no right winger.
That for a second. Exactly. And he doesn't even get to play. That's what's blowing my mind. And that's why I'm like, Chelsea have blood on their hands for letting this player go and not trying to make it work. Because, look, I don't care what you say, Ahmed. I know you're going to fucking argue with me about this, but the string of games that he was able to play, he could have 2 bad games and they get benched. But Mason Mount and Havertz can have multiple bad games and still play. That's the thing that pisses me off.
We can't disagree with you on that, man. We can't disagree with you on that. We know why that's been happening. But
the same thing goes with Pulisic, by the way. I'm not just trying to put that on Ziyech. Yeah. I feel like Pulisic gets the same treatment. I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair at all.
It isn't fair.
It just sucks.
No, I 100% agree. It's just manager bias, and that's all it is. It's just manager bias.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it's like... I don't even know if it's necessarily just manager bias, I will say that, because I think some other things come into it. We know that Ziyech does have an attitude problem. This has been
he does.
Moroccan
attitude.
Right. He fell out with Twente fans. I think he fell out with the Twente manager as well. He fell out with the Ajax fans. He is falling out with the Moroccan manager, the one before the current one. Falling out multiple people before. And the thing with Pulisic is like we have seen 3, maybe 4 different managers not really fancy him, at least a starting position. So you assume that there is something more there.
Yeah.
Sure. And I do agree with you in terms of, like, they should have had more of a chance, and Mount and Havertz are given too much of a chance. The problem that I think that the others have as well is I think we're past the point of repair. Like, I think we're past the point of like changing.
Oh yeah, their mentality's out the door pretty much.
It's not even just that. I think, realistically speaking, I think there are, off the top of my head, 2 or 3 attackers that we've got that we should be looking to keep long term, and then the rest should be gone. I'm not saying all at once because that's unrealistic, but you should be looking to, get rid of them within the next 2 or 3 windows. And that includes like Pulisic, that includes Ziyech, and they'll probably go to other clubs and do well, depending on where they go, depending on if the system fits. Like, more power to them, and I wish them well. But it's just not going to work, just because the environment isn't right, or the system isn't quite right, or whatever it is. Man.
It sucks because I feel like this is an issue we're going to have with other players too.
Because he was decent in the first game as well, at least for a half against Croatia, and I'm glad he's having a decent tournament. Yeah. Like I did say, I wanted all Chelsea players to have a shit tournament, but I'm actually quite glad that him and others are having a decent tournament.
And you know what? From a Chelsea fan's point of view, who isn't a fan of Ziyech and isn't a fan of Pulisic, this is good because at least they get to sell themselves. Other teams look at these performances, look at Ziyech getting man of the match, look at Pulisic getting man of the match and how they're performing. Like, oh, they're just playing him badly at Chelsea. No, these are good players. They're not actually bad players. And like people have said it, I refuse to believe that all these players are shit.
Exactly.
Like, they're not shit. That's not good enough for us.
Yeah, they might not be. Yeah. And I know I say that a lot of players are shit, but I genuinely believe that there aren't a lot of players that are actually shit. Most players are just average or like good. But the problem is that good isn't good enough for what we as a club want to be. Like, good will be good enough for, like, no disrespect to any of these teams, but good will be good enough for like a Brighton or a West Ham or an Everton or a Fulham, something like that. But we need more than that for where we want to go.
Yeah. But I mean, good on Morocco. They caused an upset. They exposed Belgium.
I want to speak on that Belgian team. My God, this team's shit. My God, this team's garbage.
I mean, why not? Let's talk about De Bruyne's comments. I mean, I know, Ahmed, you talked about it with
pussy mentality. That's I don't like it. It doesn't matter whether you think it. That's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you actually think that. You don't say that to the media. Like, you're the vice captain of your team. I think he's
what did he say, by the way?
Someone said his team is old. That's how they're going to win the World Cup.
Someone asked him if Belgium are going to win the World Cup. He went, "No, we're too old." Like, you don't see that. Regardless
Hazard say the
if
same
that's
thing?
true.
No, Hazard didn't say that. It was Vertonghen that made a little cheeky joke after like the first match. Oh, we're too old to do it. But basically, what this comes down to, this is really the reason why the Man City have not won the Champions League. Because if you've got that sort of mentality for your own
Your
country,
mentality's shit.
bro, your mentality is in the gutter, big man. You can have all the skill in the world, but if that's your mentality, man, you're not winning anything, man. And listen, man, I think Drogba said it best, man. Drogba said it best on the BBC. If you have that sort of mentality, you're not going to win anything, bro.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny, actually. Like, taking a little tribalism into it, isn't it funny how the guy that can't seem to win the Champions League and the guy that played for the Bottle Job Club seem to have these are the two with the mentality problem, and then the dude that calls them out is the guy that won stuff consistently and always did his, like, or most of the time did his best at the club he was at and dragged them through moments. Hey, that's kind of mad. But yeah, this team shit. And I've said it before, they wasted this generation on just a bang average manager. Like this
Martinez
guy,
is trash, man.
He's so bad. Like, do you know what it is as well? Is I've realized with a few managers, right? I don't understand. There comes a point, right, where you have to kind of start to like bring in the younger players to like build to a point where, you know, you get to a Euros or a World Cup, or if you're in South America, a Copa America or whatever it is. And these younger players can then take over, and the squad still stays the same. Like, there's still a harmony. But Belgium don't seem to be doing that. There's a couple of others, like Croatia, are similar. They haven't really seemed to do that. They're getting a bit better, but they haven't really seemed to do that. But yeah, Belgium just haven't done that. The fact that, like, I saw a couple of people tweeting about it, and there's just like a few instances. And is that they've got a striker on the bench who currently for his club, I think in like 15 appearances, he scored like 9 goals or something in Ligue 1. They've got him on the bench, and they're still starting Batshuayi. And they played Batshuayi for most, if not all. Did he finish the game? I don't know if he finished the game.
I don't
know.
He got taken off for
He didn't. He came off.
What's his name? That Trasser never even had a minute.
No, he came on. No, he came on and played left wing back.
Oh yeah, he came on. He's just been invisible.
Yeah, he played left wing back. And it's like, you've got Mertens coming on, who's 35.
He's playing in the flipping. What's it?
Mertens 35. Fucking hell, he's that old?
He's like 35, man. He's like 34 or 35. Like, you've got the guy they brought on as well, De Ketelaere. He's in terrible form, bruv. Why? Like, play the players who feel confident coming into the game. Like, Trossard makes sense. This Openda is the guy I was talking about, by the way.
Castagna is playing for Leicester. Castagna is playing for Leicester, who are crap right now. He's not going to be. He's not going to be.
I was going to say,
shit! You guys are not joking. He is 35. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's fucking ancient. Like, that you have to like rotate. That's why I liked Anana. Was like, I like them bringing in him because that's a good replacement for their midfielders they've got. But it's like, you need more of this. Like, and I love Hazard, but he's not the guy anymore. Like, he needs to not be playing as much. And I know he's
playing well, but it's not the Hazard we know. He's just doing a job.
It was during the game today. One of the commentators. It was the Uruguay Portugal. One of the commentators was talking about this or made a point about this. And I thought it was a good point. It's like I think this World Cup came a bit late for some of these players. Like, there's a few of these players who it's just a bit too late for. They're just not the same. Like Suarez, not it anymore. Got, like, again, a lot of the Belgian players, they're not it anymore. Even some of the Croatian players, it's not your time anymore. It's time to maybe pack it in. Like, the same with like Bale. Like, it's not really, you're not the same guy anymore. Like, this might have to just be it for some of you, man. Like, just like, I don't want to be disrespectful with how to say this, but like, maybe it's time to like take a step back, kind of step to the sidelines, let a few of the younger guys come in.
Hang the boots.
It's just not, you're not it anymore. Like,
I mean,
you're just not it.
While we're on the topic of dating, getting old in football, let's talk about Croatia. And Kovacic, he's not up there in the age yet. He probably still has another World Cup in him, but he had a pretty solid performance. But Croatia is also another team, still starting Perisic. Modric is having a great tournament, but that's kind of where they're at. Modric has been keeping them together It's kind of the glue of the team
Yeah,
right
but
now.
Marshall,
The rest
you're
of the
talking
team
about
is
the
like
second. Yeah, they're the second oldest team out of these squads, though. Literally, like I can tell you, like there's about like 5 teams apart from Belgium, around Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Belgium. Then you got Tunisia, Uruguay, South Korea, and Japan, Australia, and Croatia. So, arguably, like if you look at Croatia's side, they might be got the oldest midfield in the tournament, but
They do.
But they still got the experience in that. But I just don't get how some of the Chelsea fans still like the way that the last what was it the game against the
Morocco.
first game in the group was it against
Morocco.
Morocco?
Croatia versus Morocco. Yeah.
The amount of criticism that I just don't get it sometimes with these people.
Oh no,
Criticism on Croatia or on Kovacic?
It's on Kovacic, and we know what it is.
We know what it is, man. Let's
Well,
not talk
I
about
think. Well, I didn't really read into too much. I think Alex is fixing his PC. I didn't read too much into the criticism of it. I know he didn't have the best performance. I was also half asleep for that game because I had to get up at 5 a.m. for it. But, we all know he's playing with a knee injury, so he's not going to be 100%. And look, at the end of the day, too, like a fit Kovacic is probably our best midfield. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but
he's our best midfielder. But it's just
a fit
thing
Kovacic,
is,
I think, is still our best midfielder.
he'll have bad games though. That's the thing, and like,
Yeah, he's
and
allowed to.
I'm not saying he's exempt from criticism, but there's ways you go about it, and then there's verbiage that you can use, and then when you do use a certain type of verbiage, and then when another game happens and you want to use a different type of verbiage because you want to protect players, like respectfully, you can suck yourself because like if that's how you're going to be, you're just showing agenda and you're just trying to spin narratives. Like, and if that's all you're going to do, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. Like I'm tired.
We know.
I'm tired of people, the way that people are speaking about Kovacic, and it's not the people that were criticizing for him having a poor performance, because that's fair enough. Because like, if you want to criticize him, because he wasn't good in the first game, but in this game he was good. And also, I was actually going to say, like, kind of what Oliver said here. There's silence from the people that criticized him or the people that wanted to spin agenda. There's no saying, "Oh, we had a good game this game. I might have been wrong about him. Fair play, Kovacic," or none of this bollocks. No, there's just quiet. There's just silence. Because they can't spin their bullshit because it doesn't fit anymore. The narrative doesn't fit.
You know what? This also goes for Jorginho, and I'll even say it goes for Conte.
It goes for all of them. It goes for all of them because no one wants to, like, everyone just wants to spin their own bullshit narrative, and it fucks me off. Like, there are players that I don't like at Chelsea, but I'll say when they have a good game. I don't like Pulisic at all. I think as a person, he's a dickhead. But like, I've had no problem saying he's had a good tournament so far.
Yeah,
like he's had a good tournament, and like if you want to go off form right now, he's probably our best attacker based on form. Like I've got no problem saying that, and I think he's a dickhead. But like you got some people who just can't seem to bring themselves to praise a guy having a man of the match, arguably, performance against like, and people will say, "Oh, it's the team though." Who gives a fuck? You still got to perform. When I'm seeing some man not perform against Wales, or some man not perform against Iran, or like some people not perform against like Saudi Arabia, like it don't matter about the opposition if you don't perform, or if you perform, like you've still got to. But yeah, had a great game. I do want to say as well on a side note, like fair play to Canada. They thoroughly entertained me the whole the 2 games that they played today, and I think they've been good, and I think it just comes down to a little bit of lack of experience and just a couple of individual errors.
It's their first World Cup,
really well. And I tell you what, Buchanan excites me. He is.
Oh yeah, he was good.
To watch.
He was good. Honestly, that Canadian team, it needs work, right? But there's potential in it.
Most of that team, come the next World Cup, the one that they're like co-hosting, most of that team's still going to be here. There's about 4 players that might not be on the team, either due to retirement or because they are too old. But yeah, like most of that team's still going to be together.
Yeah, and good for them. They need this experience. They need to taste what it's like to lose at a World Cup and be eliminated. Good for them, man. They made it to the World Cup. They should be proud. They should hold their head up high. The fact that they even made a World Cup is a big feat, as it is. and they made it convincingly. They topped the CONMEBOL group, or not CONMEBOL. I'm sorry, the CONCACAF. They topped the CONCACAF. They solidified their place in the World Cup early. It's not like it was even down to the wire. They convincingly did it. So, hey, big up to Canada. I mean, Croatia, like we said, they're an experienced side. They were the I'm sorry, it was France-Croatia last World Cup, right?
Wasn't
I'm not. No.
Yeah.
It was the year. It was
Belgium. It was Belgium.
Last World Cup.
So 2018. 18. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah. So like, this is a formidable Croatian side. So it's not like you shouldn't be upset. Like, you should be proud of the fact that you put up a good game. You started off with you were winning, and then it capitulated. It happens. Modric.
I still do have question marks about the Croatia team overall. When they come up against better opposition, I don't know if they're going to have enough firepower, and I have certain question marks about them defensively. But they had a good performance.
I thought what's his name was good. I thought it was like the proper chills.
Kovacic?
No, the defender. He's like a
Gvardio. Yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah.
Like he's been quality. It's like the rest of the defense. Like Sosa's been good going forwards, but I'm not entirely sure about him defensively. Lovren, just the less said about him, the better. And then don't even know who they're. Oh, they're right back. Yeah, they're right back. The less said about him, the better, I suppose. He has been. He was a bit.
Boys, I just deeped it, but the next match for Croatia, it's Retirement Home FC versus Retirement Home FC, pretty much. So Belgium, Croatia. It's either going to be a really good match or it's going to be dead as fuck.
Hey, who's breaking a hip first, bro?
Yeah, pretty much.
Look, my money's on Croatia. Have a broken shoulder.
Oh my god.
Oh my days. I think Croatia's probably gonna win that match if
I know. I need Belgium to go out. I'm still like I feel bad because of Hazard, but I need Belgium to go out of the group stage. I just need it. There is a way it works as well. There is a way
it being Lukaku. No, don't think about Hazard then.
Yeah, no, there is a way it works. Well, I was doing the maths in my head, and there is a way it works. But I can't remember what it is.
I mean, even if they draw, Morocco are more than likely going to beat Canada because Canada's already eliminated. I don't know if they're going to put out their best team. So Morocco's in there, and I think the only way that Belgium advances if they beat Croatia, because even if it's a draw, Croatia go on in goal difference, I'm pretty sure.
I was just going to say quickly in regards to Belgium. There was actually a fight in the dressing room between Hazard, Vertonghen, and Kevin De Bruyne.
So,
and have a guess who had to break it up.
Lukaku.
Hazard?
You wilding dogs! Come on, man, you tripping?
Stop! Yo, wilding.
Wilding, man.
Oh my days, love to hear it. But all right, let's go on to the next game I want to talk about, guys. I mean, it's supposed to have happened for Aspie. Havertz hasn't been playing well. 1-1 Spain, Germany. I mean, Spain had it in the bag. Germany wasn't convincing, but Musiala with a moment of brilliance. He had a fantastic game based on the little that I saw. And then what's his name? The guy from Wolfsburg, right?
Fulkrug.
Or no?
Werder Bremen. Fulkrug.
Werder Bremen. I get him confused all the time. Scores for Germany. Finally gets them a goal. But yeah, this game overall, what'd you guys think? I mean, we didn't have an Aspie, we didn't have a Havertz, but
I can't lie, I might have been wrong about Spain. I might have been wrong. Like,
listen,
I don't know what it is. Like, their midfield, by the way, is unreal. Their midfield
Gabby
is
stepped. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was gassing up Spain, but I didn't actually think that Spain's midfield was that good. Like Gabby, for his age, the way he's playing,
you still saying that Spain is a good team?
Listen,
Yes.
man, I can't lie to you. Their attack is doing something I've never seen before, man. Their attack should not be
Morata's
doing
scoring,
what they're
bro.
doing.
What the fuck?
I don't know what's going on. Their attack,
the thing is with Morata is like he's always had like his footballing ability is actually not as bad as people think. Like his footballing ability was like always decent, even at Chelsea. It's his mentality that's the problem. His mentality, like he's got such a weak mind that he'll either go from being like such a nothing player, being a complete ghost, or to being one of the most dangerous strikers. Like that's just how it is with him, and like you're going to get that type of player. He's going to be one of the most frustrating guys to watch. One of the most frustrating guys to watch because he's going to either be the best player on the pitch or just garbage. And unfortunately for us, more often than not, when he played for us, he was garbage. Like I don't understand how, like, obviously they only scored one, but like this Spain team is so much better than I gave him credit for. Like I knew they were good in some areas, but I didn't. Enrique's doing actually really well with them. Like fair play. Like this team is a lot better than I gave him credit
like
for.
Enrique. He's not playing that constant tiki-taka recycling ball all the time. That's why I actually like this Spanish manager, but I don't think Spain has a good team either.
One thing I will say about Germany,
by the way, what happened to 7-0 after the first leg? Like, Spain is gonna demolish. We barely could beat Germany. Could beat weak-ass Germany.
I mean, you say barely. They played him off the pitch.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
65% possession.
It's not even just that. But there are Germany fans that say they got dominated.
No, I'm saying like, okay, yes, I'm not considered better by possession because I never rate possession is the skill of the getting better. The clear chances, how much Germany had it and how much Spain get it. Did they really got battered on the chances? Yeah, heads up to Spain. They definitely play better than Germany. I don't think it's that much. I didn't see this. I didn't see who's gonna win until I actually thought it was gonna be draw until the moment that Morata scored. And to answer you, actually, that what took Morata to score. That's what it took because defenders was like, you know what, it's Morata. We're not gonna even cover him.
I'm not gonna lie though, it was a
brilliant.
It was a good goal. It was a brilliant cross, an intelligent cross from Jordi Alba to keep it on the ground because he knew the defender was going to jump or put his foot up. Right to Morata, boop, perfect. Right past
the area. Say the striker Fulkert that they brought on Germany. It's actually a quality striker, man. He's been having his best season so far.
Indeed.
Been watching Gladbach. You know
he's actually gone under the radar for a while.
He's spent half his career in the second Bundesliga.
Yeah. Like he can do something for them if they want to play him up front, maybe against Costa Rica, man.
Bro, do you know why it works as well? Do you know why it works having him up front? Because he's guess what? He's a proper fucking striker. He's not none of this like false 9, this mythical 10 fucking nonsense that Havertz is moving like. I can play 10, 9, 8, 7, bench, left back, right back, goalkeeper, kit man. Like,
and the other thing you need to think about, like Weghorst, for example, even though he played shit at Burnley, he was playing really well for the Bundesliga. He's been Bundesliga side, Wolfsburg, for quite a long time. So Germany has like a little bit of a region of these tall, technical strikers that they can produce every once in a while.
Hey, Musa, always catching strays.
Yeah, what you guys think of Musa? So not Musa, I'm sorry, Musiala.
Oh, he was brilliant. Like that's the thing, and like it was really nice to see like him, Gavi, and Pedri, like all of them. Like they are quality, and it's good watching these guys play because it gives me hope that like these type of players are still going to exist. Like they're all quality, and I just think it's funny how like people were cussing out the fact that Gavi won the Copper Trophy or whatever it's called,
Golden Boy,
whatever it is. He's not better than Bellingham. I suck your mum.
Like he is talented.
He's 19. Or 18, starting
Pablo Torres, the next man,
Spain in their midfield, like over players. It's the fact of like they're not starting Koke, they're not starting. Who else have they got in the midfield? I can't actually remember who else they got in the midfield. They're not starting others. They're choosing to start him in the midfield over like.
Right now, the other Barcelona guy they've got recently called Pablo Torre. He's gonna be the next one up, man. I'm telling you, if that happens.
But like they're all quality players. Like they're all quality players. Musiala, Pedri.
With Musiala though. I love Musiala. He's he reminds me a lot of like prime Trent in the sense that he can get the ball, can dominate 1v1, he can get there. But this thing is, the finishing is really letting him down right now. Maybe he just needs to be a bit more calmer when he just finishes. That's all, man, and he'll be fine. Be a bit
Oh,
more
this is a
relaxed.
really good point.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
They didn't even take Thiago into the squad.
Yeah, but listen, man, let's be real. Thiago's a bit of a meaty guy, man. Who cares?
I mean, it wasn't too long ago, only 2 seasons ago, where Thiago was, arguably one of the best midfielders.
No. We know Thiago's been one of the best, but when I say he's been meaty, I mean like the last 2 seasons, like the injuries that he's been taking.
The injuries have been crazy. Yeah, you're right.
I trust that he'll be able to do a job, but it says a lot they're not taking him. Not taking.
No. The fact that this kid's only 19 is crazy.
The guys they are taking, he starts over them.
And you know what? Like, as much as I don't like Barcelona, dude, they did a good job of locking that kid down. Him and I think they also have Pedri, right? They also locked down Pedri with a new contract over the summer.
And they just locked down that left back Alejandro Balde as well. Literally, I think yesterday signed a new contract.
Yeah, but there's arguments between the manager and the new what's his face. No, Pedri or whoever. What's his name? The one that they have 200 million release clause, but he's not that happy at Barcelona with Xavi. So, what's the guy that dates Piqué dates his mom or something?
Oh, what, Gavi?
Gavi, yeah. I don't think he's that happy at what's his name?
At Barcelona.
At Barcelona.
Hey man, bring him to Chelsea. We'll take him. We'll ruin him.
Oh,
I mean, it's a rumor. So it's not like I know what the guy's saying, but
I would love to have that kind of player. I would love to have that kind of player and that talent. Like, why can't Mason Mount be like that at 19? Like, what the fuck, bro?
He wasn't born in Spain because he's got English teaching.
Maybe.
I'm not joking either. That's not a joke. That's genuinely what it is. It's because he was born in England and he's had the English way of learning football. Unfortunately.
Blue Lounge, I'm working on it. Okay, we're trying to put some respect on Ziyech's name. But no, Spain. Listen, I had a feeling that
if I was Moroccan, I will put respect on him.
Yeah,
but I'm watching Chelsea, not Morocco.
If I was saying with Luis Enrique, I knew he could do a job, but I didn't think it would be this good of a job. Because I'm not gonna lie, Spain in the Euros impressed me a lot with the team that they had. And they're only improving on that form going into this World Cup. So good on Spain. They're pretty much qualified. They just have to. They could get a draw or they could win the next game, and they're through. Unfortunately, because they didn't put away Germany, didn't automatically qualify. So they have to still put on a decent performance. But for Germany to qualify, they need to put a bunch of goals past Costa Rica and hope that Japan does not draw. So yeah. That's going to be a task for them. We'll see.
Man, listen, they got something, man. They got
an upset.
They're going to hope Japan to lose to Spain in it. So
listen, dude, Japan's got something. Costa Rica's got something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something. Listen, I mean, we're talking about the somethings that factor, bro. Can we talk about? I mean, I didn't see Cameroon, Serbia. That was a fucking fantastic game from what I saw.
Yeah,
and Ghana, South Korea was phenomenal.
Hey, big up Mohamed Kudus.
Dude, Ghana and South Korea was probably my favorite match of the fucking tournament so far.
Yeah.
That Cameroon goal, the third one by Abu Bakar, ridiculous, man. That was ridiculous.
The chip?
No, the second one you mean, not the third one. The second one.
Oh, the second one. Sorry, the chip.
It was the chip, right? Where he chips
the second one was the chip.
Yeah. That was clear.
Apparently, there was comments that he said he's as good as Mo Salah, and he proved it today. Pretty much.
I think he made those comments after the AFCON or something, or during the AFCON.
Yep.
Hey, look.
Because have you seen
a goal like that? Keep it up. But oh my God, the Ghana game today, it was so back and forth. Ghana started off 2 goals ahead, and then Korea back to back from the left flank. Hey, by the way, I'm looking at everyone that was backing Lamptey for the longest time. Oh, why'd we sell Lamptey? We gave him away. Lamptey was arguably at fault for both those goals conceding for Ghana, for Korea, because that was his flank, and he lost his marker twice and let the cross go through. Anyone that was backing Lamptey, we should bring him back, we should have never sold him. That's why we sold him. All right, he's not good enough for Chelsea. Lamptey, you're on fraud watch, man. But yeah, Korea came back, and then freaking Ghana scores it.
And yeah, Korea couldn't come back from that, even with Heung-min Son there. Heung-min Son was kind of invisible that game, I'm not gonna lie, but they had their moments. Korea, they had their moments, but that game was really entertaining, really entertaining. I don't know if you guys also saw it, but
no, I woke up at 3:30 today, like 3:30 p.m. I missed both games.
You should watch it, man. It was very dramatic.
I know. I watched the highlights of both games. I didn't watch the whole game.
It was entertaining.
It was, the most entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Game I saw.
It wasn't good quality, but it was good entertaining.
Yeah. I agree.
I couldn't believe that South Korea can actually, like, they send in the balls in a box like it was like England, like thinking that we're gonna score the headers. But
bro, the second goal, the header, he jumped so high in the air for that. Like he was in there doing some type of martial arts or something, bro. He was, oh my days, man. It was, hey man, Korea. Good for them, man. They put up a good fight. They didn't give up at all, and it was a very entertaining game. Go for it.
Did Ziyech request a transfer to leave Chelsea?
I don't think he has, but from what I've heard is that pretty much the club don't really care what he does. They're letting him do whatever he wants to do.
Because I remember he actually asked to leave.
I don't know if he put in a transfer request. I just think he decided he fired his manager so that he can find a club for himself because his manager wasn't doing it for him or something. So that's all I know. I don't know about transfer requests though.
Because I just tried to figure out where do I need to put the respect on Ziyech and shit. So
all right. Well, the next topic and the last one of today, I believe. Actually, we could probably talk about Uruguay as well and the refereeing. But Silva holding down the fort. But let's talk about Brazil. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think today we saw another side of Brazil, and for me, I know me and Ahmed were talking about this a little bit before the stream. For me, I think, and I'm kind of surprised that this is still a thing. I feel like without Neymar, their quality drops considerably. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Neymar's a great player, but they should have a decent enough quality to still hold down be convincingly beating a Switzerland team, in my opinion.
I don't know. Switzerland have a decent team, to be fair. Like, I'll say that much. They do have a decent team, and like their defense is quality. I think I saw somewhere that in qualifying they had like the best defense.
Yeah, very good trained team, very well trained team.
They did decent, and I think it was a little bit of a different approach in terms of with certain players playing from Chiche. So I think I also think like certain things helped as well in terms of like the subs and whatnot. I think like bringing Bruyne on, bringing Rodrigo on. He's a good player as well, by the way. Rodrigo, I think helped.
Vinicius has been looking phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. Vinicius has been looking.
And then Vinicius just Jesus Christ. Yeah, that kid's special.
He's just having a walk in the park in this tournament.
But yeah, like I think it wasn't
which kid?
Vinicius Jr.
You talking about Brazilian kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Switzerland. I was like, what the hell? My brain doesn't jump that quick.
No, we're talking about Vinicius Jr., man.
I do want to talk about Switzerland. Actually, there is one player with a couple of players in Switzerland I want to talk about. But yeah, like I think again, it's another game where they didn't perform at their best, but they still won. And I think like once Neymar comes back, I think that, like it's them or theirs or France's to lose at this point, and maybe Spain's as well, like an outside chance, depending on how they do it, like in terms of attacking areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, like. For me, like at this moment in time, it's theirs or France's to lose, and then there's like a couple of teams that have an outside chance of getting.
You know who surprised me a lot this tournament from Brazil that I didn't really expect much of? Paqueta. Paqueta's actually fucking really good. The chances he was creating for Rodrigo, Richarlison, and Vinicius today in the game was actually really good quality. Like this guy's a proper, really good number 10 in his team. I understand why he starts. I don't know why he's not in a better team. What team does he play for right now? I don't even know.
West Ham.
Really?
Yep.
What the fuck is he doing at West Ham? He should be in a much better team than West Ham.
He was playing at Lyon before he went to West Ham, and like when he was at Lyon, he was doing really well. He was playing almost as an 8 at Lyon. They were playing. I think they played more like a 4-3-3, like a flat 4-3-3, and he was playing a bit more as an 8. Yeah, he's like there's a lot of people, or there's a few people I know that like watch Ligue 1 a lot more than I do. That be like banging his drum. in like with him. BA's a good player, someone I wanted at one point because of how well he was playing. But BA's a good player.
Did he get hooked at halftime? I don't think he was having a bad game though.
No, he got hooked.
He got hooked at half. He got hooked at halftime, or like early in the second half, because Rodrigo came on for him.
Tactical change. I don't think he was having actually a bad game.
But no, but to be fair, the guy that kind of I thought stepped up at least a bit, like looked improved compared to the last game was Rafinha. Like there was one ball in particular, I can't remember who it was to. There was one ball he put through, and was it Richarlison or was it someone else that he put through and should have scored? Like they should have scored. I can't remember what it was. And also speaking of balls, that Trivella pass from Vinny that Richarlison nearly got a foot on. Like again, this kid is
the 3-footed, the outside the foot.
Yeah, pass. That little outside the foot pass, like that kid is he's special.
There's something funny happened on Twitter.
What?
Johnny Minerals posted the secret.
Oh, great!
The secret. What's the name? Epstein Island visitor, and there's Arteta on that list.
Oh,
he thought that it was real.
Oh,
but somebody trolled it.
He
so
did
he
not
posted.
He did not think that was
real. There's so many names they've linked in there. Like somebody.
Bro, Callum Hudson-Odoi on that list.
Yeah.
Oh my days! That's
Can
ridiculous.
You imagine, man?
Oh my days! But yeah, I mean. What'd you guys think of Brazil today? Was it convincing? Do you think there's issues? Do you think?
I just think it's the lack of finishing that's really the issue they have right now. That's the only thing they have. If once they sort that sort of out, once they sort that out, they should be fine. But again, man, are they gonna sort it out? That's the big question.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, I feel like there.
I feel like there is. Richarlison not prolific. Gabi Jesus not prolific.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
They're already qualified, and their next game is against fucking. I'm sorry. What is it here?
Cameroon.
I think the problem is like we're looking at forward. The teams that potentially could go high enough don't really have that good of a defense.
Yeah.
For example, France. They're good in the midfield and the but I don't think they still have a good defense to the level. I think the defense will kind of give them away at the end of the like later on. You see what I'm saying? So Richarlison versus those defenders, I can see that. I can see him doing well. So it's not only because Richarlison, it's because who he's potentially could play against. So.
Fair enough. And Casemiro with a wonderful strike, wonderful goal.
Oh, that was
look.
cool.
I have always rated this guy. I wanted him at Chelsea, but we can't have him at Chelsea because if you bring him in, you give him wages, Minerals Mount's gonna get upset and give him the fucking manager and the bully, the angry eyes, and all that, and whatever the fuck. But look, this guy came in clutch for United against us. Now he's coming in clutch for Brazil. It is what it is, but we move. Let's talk about the refereeing. The game after that was Uruguay and Portugal. And look, Uruguay were going to lose anyways, in my opinion. They didn't look that menacing. What's his face? The only player on there that I really rate is the one that plays for United. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Oh, my days.
What, the young dude?
The young dude that was playing. Palestri, thank you. He's really the only one I rate on the team. Yeah. And he came off the bench on top of that.
To be fair, there's a few players I rate on that team. Like I rate Valverde, I rate Bentancur, I rate I can't even actually let me get their team up. I'm not going to be able to do this.
Darwin Nunez?
Nope.
I can't believe they took off Darwin Nunez as well.
No, they didn't take him off for Suarez. They took him off for Maxi Gomez. He was shit. He was terrible. Excuse me. I rate one of the guys that hasn't played for them yet, Facundo Torres, a little bit. To be fair, apart from that, there's not really a lot of players. I rate around.
Bentancur's been alright.
Bentancur's been alright for them, but
what about English referee that did not let
Anthony
the
Taylor.
corner kick taken.
Surprise. And then
Oh yeah, what the fuck? And then the penalty that was given today, which was what I was going to bring up.
It was atrocious as well.
How do you expect the player to fall? Like,
Yeah, that's a handball.
obviously-
He knew what he's doing.
You really? I mean,
First of all, it's not uncontrolled fouling. Do you understand what uncontrolled fouling is? Where you don't think when you foul and you reflex your hands. He's controlling foul, so he knows where he puts his hands.
but when you do a controlled fall like that, I don't think he was expecting the ball to go through his legs. I think he was expecting to get the ball with his feet and just break his fall with his hand. It just happened that he got tunneled and the ball hit him in the hand.
That's a 100% point.
And even like, I think the commentators were reading the rules, and I think there's a rule specifically in that situation, and they ruled back to another situation prior that happened like that,
Natural
and they didn't
position.
rule it as a handball.
Natural position.
But what's the natural position there? He
not
just
natural.
falls
Side to side.
and hits his head, or
Side to side.
I guess, yeah.
Look,
I
it's
don't know.
not-
I feel like it was
I've just
controversial.
never had.
It's not controversial. It's not controversial whatsoever. But I can tell you one thing that people don't understand what can happen. What people say, like for example, if I will go to the header, it doesn't mean that I don't know where's my hand is.
Yeah.
So for example, the guy literally, you can actually see his hand moving towards the ball right after he realized that his ball goes between his legs. You see what I'm saying? It's not.
I can see how it can be intentional. I'll say
Look,
that. I can definitely see how it can be
you,
intentional.
when you do a scissor kicks, your hand doesn't go on the ground behind you because he scissored blocked them. He tried to do slide tackle by going slide with both feet by scissor kicking. Your hand doesn't go backwards. Left hand, it doesn't go backwards. It goes like this, side to side. The goalkeepers usually makes the big themselves, but spread themselves wide. You see what I'm saying? It's 100%. I knew he was doing what he was doing on purpose, and I said it from the beginning. It's a handball.
Okay. I mean, I disagree. I don't think
Yeah.
he meant
No,
to do
it's
it.
fine to disagree.
I can see what, like, I can definitely see how it can be considered a handball, because I can definitely see someone doing that on purpose, knowing that's going to go there just to get the ball away. It has happened. It definitely has happened before. But for this one, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because they were going to lose anyways.
Like when you fall and you're falling down and you're trying to hand straight away, like I don't know where else you're meant to put your hand. I just don't understand that. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I see what what Alex is saying too. He could have fallen on his side, maybe, but he was directly in front of it. I don't know. It's a very weird one for me. And then there's been a few other like the other call too. Like I don't know how. What was it? Switzerland, right? Switzerland didn't get the corner, or what team was it that didn't get the corner?
South
today?
Korea. South Korea. And
yeah.
at the end, like literally, there's the Ghana wasted time, like literally 4 minutes out of that 10 minutes of the at the time, literally. And I he added 50 seconds to it, but the corner, the fact that it was right after corner, like he canceled corner, it's a prick move.
It is a pretty prick move. I'm not gonna lie. That one was the refereeing in general. The refereeing in general, this tournament, I've not been impressed with. I've been liking the calls for the offsides, like the VAR calls. Like, I know Ziyech's first goal got canceled because of interference.
100% right.
And that was right. He was interfering, because you see Courtois and the way he reacted to it. Courtois, look, as much of a snake as Courtois was for Chelsea, he's a good keeper. He's not going to react stupid. He's not going to react stupidly to a ball like that. Like, he obviously anticipated the striker hitting it and going in a direction that Courtois was reacting to, and it just happened to not. So, and then you look at the offside. It was a good call. And
I think the players complain about the ball, saying that the chip. Players complaining about the ball, World Cup ball, because there's a chip in the ball that has that semi-automatic offside thing called. You know that, right? This is the first time we're using that system.
What?
You don't know that?
No.
This World
no.
Cup, they use a specific thing in the ball to cut offside earlier. It's like a semi-automatic. They're not actually doing it immediately, but they know exactly the position. That's why they can do
Like a
3D.
sensor or something?
If you've noticed, if you know, like most offside calls are really quick and snappy.
Quick, yeah.
That's why.
Uh-huh.
That's
So
why
it's-
they've
yeah.
got something in the
Semi-automated,
ball.
But
Basically,
there's a thing saying that a couple of players, Scott, there's a couple of players that saying that they can feel the difference in the ball.
I feel like the players are always going to complain about the ball. Didn't they complain about the African ball too?
Jabulani.
Jabulani.
It was too
light,
light, I
oh.
think.
Yeah.
I love that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good knuckleball. It was a good knuckleball because the less teaches, the ball does this woom 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 woom. The less teaches, the more that ball it is.
Effect and the wobble. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
it deforms.
But yeah, like the offsides calls have been pretty good. I actually like the stoppage time. I'm not gonna lie.
I do
feel
too.
like it's more accurate. I feel like it is more accurate. I feel like we don't get enough stoppage time in the Premier League, even though like there's so many times where when the ball goes out of bounds, it takes too long to get it, or it's just time wasting and all that stuff. I like the extra time. The extra time for Korea, that was crazy. What was it, 14 minutes or something? that was absurd. I didn't even think it was 14 minutes, but it is what it is. But I don't know what else has been. I can't think off the top of my head what else has been controversial this World Cup with the refereeing calls. Unless
There's plenty of controversy.
There
It's
has
just
been,
a
but I just
different
can't think
kind,
about it right now.
different kind of
Yeah.
controversy.
Yeah, there's not been a lot.
There's a guy running on the field earlier.
Oh yeah, with the rainbow flag.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
waking up. He's not waking up tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go well for him.
But yeah, like it's just I don't know, just some of the VAR calls. I think it's been a bit questionable. The Canada one the other
Yeah,
day.
it's the
other one
I
should
think
have
the
been.
VAR calls have been bad.
There's been a couple of others. I can't remember which ones they were, which is really annoying. I can't remember all of the games.
I think there was also the I just had it, and I just forgot it. God dang it! All right, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce you guys.
All right. Yeah.
See you.
Later, Alex.
See you guys.
I can't think of any right now off the top of my head, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure I'll remember him at some point. We can talk about it later, but yeah, I think that's just about everything for the World Cup when it comes to Chelsea players. Oh, let me get out of the screen, please. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I think we covered most of it. I think the next time we'll be doing this kind of coverage. Oh, Ronaldo almost broke their record today. He almost got credit for that goal that didn't even touch it, but yeah. Yeah, whatever, Ronaldo. You'll probably get it next game. Whatever. The next time we'll be doing a roundup like this will be Saturday. Friday after the Cameroon game. So yeah, we'll catch up with the Chelsea players again on that day and see how they performed. Hopefully it will be better than this game, even though there were very good performances this week with Chelsea players. I'm not going to lie. Just the ones that we didn't need to actually perform. Hopefully the starters can step up. So hopefully Mason Mount, Sterling, the other ones out there too, Mendy, Koulibaly. Hopefully they step up. We'll see what happens. And yeah, and then it's off to round of 16. I'm not gonna lie, this World Cup has been really good so far. I like it. It's been my favorite to date. I just like the upsets. I like that Morocco's basically going into the round of 16. That's good for them. Like there's some underdog teams that are going into the next round. So it's been a very interesting World Cup so far. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it right here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Help us get to 1,500 subscribers, please. It's a big milestone for us. Big up to Fatur for also pointing that out to me. I forgot. But yeah, guys, hit the bell notification so you don't miss our future streams. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the World Cup and the results so far. And then, yeah, we'll catch you guys again on Saturday for a recap of match week 3. Until then, you guys stay casual. Peace out.